Hi friends and family, this is Gina with Hope and Cope. I have another topic for you, but real quickly I'd like to say if you like this material, if this is helpful, then I'd love for you to subscribe to this channel. I try to put a video out every week, and if you feel like you know someone, because a lot of times we're not going through this alone, right? We've got other people that are struggling in the same boat we're in or over the same situation. So if you have someone else you think this would be helpful to, please share this material. I would love to help as many people as I can. I went to hell and back, and if my experiences could help other people, what a joy that would be to me. What a consolation to my suffering that would be to me. So if you can share this with other people and it lightens your load, lightens their load even a little, just give somebody a little spark of something to hold on to today, man, that just means everything to me. It really does. And so my topic today is secrets. Oh my goodness, what do we do with all the secrets? So it wasn't necessarily a secret. When my husband started drinking and I didn't talk about it, it was because I didn't know what was going on. I thought he was sick. I thought he was very, very sick, and that he had been sick. My husband he's had diverticulitis. He's had a hernia. He's had multiple things. They weren't sick, like cancer sick or, flu sick. They were just unwell. He was just unwell. So I just thought he was unwell. And I had no idea what we were dealing with. Once we did, I told my family really quickly. I didn't try to hide it. I felt like it needed to be a group effort. We needed to be in one accord and help him get into recovery. And but when he came home from his first rehab and he relapsed, that was when I had a secret, and I didn't want to hurt my children. I wanted them to think that Dad was well. And so then I just, I think part of it was I didn't want to see it. Part of it was I didn't want to tell it. It was too painful to tell and to hurt other people. But once it was, it always escalates. That's the problem with addiction. If addiction could be kind of controlled, then I don't think it'd really be addiction. Addiction is kind of when it's out of control, when it makes your life unmanageable. That's the kind of verbiage that they use in Al-Anon, which is a recovery program for friends and family of people with alcoholism or addiction. And your life has become unmanageable. So if your life can stay manageable in all kinds of areas, all the normal areas, then it's probably not an addiction. But I'm not here to judge whether it is or isn't. If someone else's lifestyle choices are making you crazy, whether it's addiction to them or not, I am here to help you. I am here to help you. So I think I got myself off track. So I had this secret to keep, but it was, his usage was escalating, and so it was getting harder to keep. And so I told the girls, and I said to Rob, we're going to tell the girls together. We're going to quit keeping this secret. But the girls were mad. They were pretty mad at me for keeping a secret. And so they said right then and there, as painful as this was, don't ever keep a secret again. We don't want the secrets. And promise me that you won't keep secrets. And so I did make a promise to not keep secrets. And so then after that, what I had to do was be smart enough to know that I'm keeping them abreast of the big picture and not necessarily dumping every little thing on them. I didn't feel like not keeping secrets meant they needed a play-by-play daily update on the misery going on. If they weren't there for a front row seat, I didn't feel like they needed the day-by-day update. So it wasn't a secret. That was my balance of, I'm not going to pretend he's not using. I'm going to answer questions if you ask them, but I don't need to say this awful thing that happened last night and you should have seen your dad do da 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 da. I know that I'm not the only one in our family. Sadly, I know at least 2 of my daughters videotaped their dad while he was drunk so that we could show him later. I mean, that was always my goal. I'm going to show you later what you look like and how you present when you're drunk. So maybe it would make a difference. I never actually showed him any of those videos. I did take them though, and they are still on my phone. I don't know why, but they are. And so I don't know if my girls ever took them and actually showed their dad or not, but I guess I brought that up to say we all saw it. We all knew it. I didn't feel like my kids needed, like I said, a daily update. But I tried not to keep secrets. If they were big things that I felt like my kids needed to know, I told them, even though I knew it would be painful. And so, like for instance, drunk driving. We definitely had the talk about he loses his, in a good sense of mind, Rob would never drive drunk. He's not an irresponsible person. He would never do that. But when he's impaired, he's not thinking like himself. And he did do that. And he did it multiple times. And we had to come together and have those discussions and then have them with him. And we really tried to protect him from drunk driving, which, most of you know, if you've been watching my videos, most of you know that the addiction, which is probably still there in his brain, but the active usage ended abruptly with a drunk driving accident, which had caused him to be a quadriplegic. So we really tried to protect him from that. There were multiple times that as a family we agreed and we said, you're not going to drive. And he did pretty much always, he didn't like it. He'd push back, but he also couldn't deny that he didn't use his good sense when he was drunk. And so he went through long periods of time where he did not have access to a car. Now granted, it didn't keep him from walking. He would walk to the liquor store and get his liquor. It wasn't necessarily a goal to make it to where he couldn't use. Of course, if that had worked, I'd been happy that, okay, well, he's he doesn't have a car and he can't get to a liquor store. But in our little town, we were 2 blocks from a liquor store and he would walk to it. And so, but at least he wasn't driving. And I'm still, we're all very thankful that when he had his accident, it was a single vehicle accident and he didn't hurt anyone else. So thankful for that. But anyway, I just wanted to talk to you about secrets. The secrets, Al-Anon says, your secrets keep you sick. So we bring our secrets into the light. We try not to pretend that things aren't what they are. That doesn't mean you owe it to everyone to tell them what's going on in your family. You don't. You don't owe it to the people in the perimeter to tell them what's going on. Quite the contrary. You can just say something like, that's a topic I really don't want to talk about, or I don't want to talk about to you. If you want to say that, I don't feel comfortable talking about this to you. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm not interested in this conversation. But I did try to always talk to my children and the people that I felt like needed to know. Most people didn't want to know. I'm just going to tell you, for the most part, people don't want to know. They want to be in the dark. They don't want to hear it. That was my experience. They don't want to hear it. They'd rather think things are okay. Even if they know what's going on, they'd rather still not know all about it. But that is still not going to be where, if they ask me, I'm going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say things are great. He's doing great. We're all great. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say it's bad. And it's not going well, and it's really sad and it's really hard, and I just feel like that is good enough. It's not a dishing out all the dirt. I don't feel like it's important to have to throw that person under the bus and say, let me tell you what. Let me tell you what happened Friday. You are not going to believe it. You don't have to do that, to be honest. You don't. And I don't even know that that's helpful. So just try to use some wisdom. Try not to do things that are intentional to hurt somebody, to shame that person. We don't want to shame people. It doesn't help the situation. Honestly, if one good little dose of shaming somebody would fix it, go ahead. But it doesn't. It just makes matters worse. It honestly just makes matters worse. It only makes them retreat into their addiction more. They can't handle the shame, and so they just use it more to avoid it. Even though it's the cause, they don't see that. In their mind, it's the solution. It's not the cause. And so just recognize you can be honest without having to tell everything. And you can still keep your dignity and the other person's dignity to where, if they get clean and sober, everybody doesn't have to know all the awful things. They just don't need to know all the awful things. Maybe your children do. Maybe their mother or their father. It depends on how involved they were or are in the family and how much they want to know. But, I didn't ever lie, but I did really want to protect my husband's mother. I didn't want her to suffer. If she wanted to have some kind of comfort, blissful comfort, I didn't begrudge her that. It was a little sorrowful to me. It felt like maybe people didn't want to be involved and be there for me and help me. But on the same token, I know it was just extremely, extremely painful, and not something people are going to sign up for unless they have to. And I felt like I had to. I was the spouse. I was the closest one. I was going to see it. I was going to be there and see it. I couldn't avoid seeing it. So anyway, don't keep secrets. Don't lie. If you catch yourself lying, oh, your dad is sick. He couldn't make it because he's sick. You don't have to say, you don't have to lie. And I probably did say things like that to his mom. If I went to visit her and Rob didn't come with me, he's not feeling well, I probably did for her. But if it was his children and we promised we were not going to lie, I didn't lie and say, your dad's not feeling well, when it's that he was drunk as a skunk at home. So I would just say, well, your dad he hasn't gotten up all day. They know what that means. I don't have to throw him under the bus, and I don't have to be cruel. I don't have to be cruel to be honest. If you have to be cruel to be honest, then maybe you need to just wait a day to be honest and say, let me pull this together, let me get my thoughts together, and I'll call you tomorrow. Because you just don't have to be cruel to be honest. And you don't have to lie. But it's not helpful to keep secrets. It's not helpful to pretend that things are not what they are. Quite the contrary. If we are pretending that things aren't what they are, it's very confusing to our loved ones. I've got a hair in my eye. I'm so sorry. My cat jumped in my lap a while ago, and now I've got hairs bothering me. When we pretend that things are okay, when they are not okay, it is very unsettling for our children. They don't understand. It's like everything in them tells them this is not normal. Dad is not normal. Something's wrong. Is dad sick? Is dad going to die? What's going on? And when we try to act like this is normal, dad is normal, you're seeing things wrongly, this is the way your dad always is, that is very, very, very harmful to your children at any age, whether they are young adults, teenagers, or little children. I think pretending and lying about things being serious is dangerous. But you, especially at the age appropriate level that children are, you can come up with the right thing to say. And, sadly, if you have small children, it's a sad thing for them to have to be introduced to addiction at such a young age. But I don't even know that it's a bad thing to explain to them this condition your dad has, or your sister, or your grandma, or whoever it is, and just kind of try to explain on their level what is going on. And you can do it with respect, and you can do it with dignity, and you can try to separate that person from that disease so that they can understand that that it is a disease, and that it is something that's beyond that person's control, at least at that time. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, again, please like it, and comment, and subscribe, so you'll see next week's video. Until then, I'm always praying for you guys, always, and I love you. Bye.